When thinking about our role in macro practice, I think it's important to consider topics such as the assertive continuum in our style of conflict. Think about yourself working for a homeless service agency and imagine that your agency just secured funding to expand services, which includes funds to purchase a new facility. Your agency located a perfect building, an old church, which has been abandoned for 2 years. It's centrally located for services. It has a commercial kitchen, and it's large enough to convert to serve families and single adults. And it's located on a large property for the possibilities of a playground and perhaps even some outdoor kennels to accommodate pets. However, the neighbors are upset. Even more than upset, they're outraged. They've formed a group protesting the purchase of the building by your agency. Now let's look at this assertive continuum, right? Now if you think about how this relates to our scenario of purchasing the abandoned church, if you approach this scenario as a non-assertive individual, most likely you're going to walk away. You're going to search for a property with no neighbors and less conflict. It may be a good solution, but remember, this property is perfectly located. It's central to the services that your population utilizes, and it's a great property with lots of potential. So you decide to leave your comfort zone and you move toward assertiveness. You are willing to hear the neighbor's concerns and hoping to find solutions. And you have some points that you hope your neighbors are willing to hear from you and your agency. Now you become so compassionate about this purchase that your coworkers have to calm you down, hold you back. They warn you, don't come out swinging, right? That's the aggressive side. So we have to go back to the assertiveness to say that, yes, we're going to listen to what the other side has, but we have some points too. So let's look at how important human interaction is in establishing a relationship. Because we want to establish a relationship with our neighbors, right? So what we say is going to be important, the tone we use, our body language, our eye contact, active listening, and genuineness. These are all important skills that we're going to bring when we meet with the neighbors. Let's look at how we can apply conflict resolution to this scenario. Now this is all stuff that we read about this week, right? Step 1, the confrontation. So this is going to be a meeting. Remember, this is probably going to be emotional. Both sides are very passionate about how they want to resolve this. You want this property. The neighbors do not want you in their neighborhood. I appreciate what Heather posted in her forum, where she said that her style of conflict is about collaboration and compromising. I think that's important to think about when we're looking at steps in conflict resolution. So step 2, we're going to establish common ground. This is the time where we're going to hear their concerns. We're also going to address some of ours, and we're going to look at, okay, you guys are concerned about this property. We are too, right? Emphasizing the importance of communication and try not to yell and scream at each other. We want to hear both sides, though, completely. Emphasize your willingness to cooperate. Sometimes this does mean compromise, right? So maybe the neighbors are really upset that you're going to be serving single adults. So perhaps that means that you're going to reduce the amount of single adults served at the center. Emphasize with your opponent's perspective. So they're concerned about perhaps neighborhood safety, devaluing property. They're concerned about the population that will be moving into this location. So you're going to evaluate both you or your own and your opponent's motivation to address the conflict. Remember, you feel that the purchase of this building is important for your community and the population you serve. So finding compromise with your new neighbors, it's also an important aspect of your relationship. You may want to bring in neighbors from your current location to address how you've addressed these concerns in the past, how your agency works with the neighborhood, how your agency works with the population it serves, what your expectations are of the individuals in your program. When do you ask people to leave? Is it clean and sober? Do you do criminal background checks? Are these things that are concern for the neighbors? Maybe they're things that you're going to be bringing into this program. So maybe it will have to be people are clean and sober. Maybe drug testing needs to be one of the things that needs to be addressed before individuals move into the neighborhood or into the facility. Maybe you're going to have to institute curfews. Maybe you're going to have improved lighting. Maybe there's going to have to be fences. Some of these things may not be what we had or intended when we first went to purchase the building. Maybe we're not going to be able to accommodate pets. But there are some things that we hope to still address, that we want to purchase the building, that we want to be able to have services provided for our population in a centrally located location. So I appreciate, once again, your posts that you guys have been contributing. I wanted to also remind you to continue to look, as we read, like from last week and this week, to think about these concepts toward our paper. Because all of these things that we're talking about will go into our first paper. Also with our reading in Peace, Power, and Righteousness, that you relate the reading to how there's differences between these conflict resolution styles. Let's see. The other things I wanted to address, to remember that as you go through the reading in our workbook, if you have questions or want to ask classmates their thoughts or reflections regarding the exercises in Chapter 3, that there's a space to do that in learner-to-learner forum. I also posted Ask Questions Here forum. This is a new forum that you'll find on the front page of our class. If you do have questions for me or other classmates, this is a great place to post those questions. Let's see. I guess that's it. Okay. If you have any questions, please let me know. I hope things are going well. Okay. Thanks.